Payments overall in the Philippines and also across Asia Pacific are constantly changing. The arrival of cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology obviously are having an impact. But what's often overlooked is that the central bank, who are opening the conference here today, talked about was that they have a target to reach 20% of transactions in digital format by 2020, and they recognise that they're still a long way from that. That's a big challenge. Things are moving fast. But what we're forgetting in that is think about the Pareto principle. It's still 80% of transactions are still done in cash. And so where we spend a lot of time focusing, whether they're banks or large retail chains or even mum and pop stores, is in working on how do we manage the 80%, in fact it's often more than 80%, to make that more efficient and more effective for them. So whilst the landscape is changing, there's an awful lot that isn't changing and isn't changing fast. What we're trying to do is help them make more money from their money. So in my perspective, the BSP is doing a great job. They've got a number of policies that are out there. They are very strong public advocates of cash development and payment technology in general. We would never speak bad of the central bank. It's just a bad thing to do. But fundamentally, they are very engaged. Supporting events like this, I think, is very important. They're helping bring people together, and of course, they're working with a number of working groups to help digitize transactions, as well as bring financial inclusion is a really important part of what they're doing, and they're bringing a lot of that technology outside of especially the Metro Manila area, but outside of the urban conurbations, and ensuring that the people get access to payment technology. I do see it having a bright future with a population of over 100 million people. The opportunity here is probably second only to that of Indonesia. Stable infrastructure, stable and strong government. These are all things that help, regardless of fintech or any other type of development at the moment. But given that the central bank is behind some of these promotional campaigns, these opportunities will continue to exist. Conferences like this really help bring developers, consumers, technology companies like us together. There was a famous quote from a central banker who talked about the best thing that ever happened in fintech was the ATM, and that was over 50 years ago. And we're very proud to have been the inventor of the ATM. Not many people know that. We don't go around looking like fintech guys all the time with long, funny beards, drinking lattes, etc., etc. But the reality is that fintech is at the core of what we do, and we will continue to engage and keep bringing financial technology and financial inclusion to the Philippines. Obviously, the more involved people are in the financial community, the better. In terms of it helps, it reduces costs, and it's those people who have least access to financial technology who actually pay proportionally the largest amount to be involved. And that's why, whether it's a national ID scheme, whether it's bringing biometric technology to the country and then involving more people in financial technology, it's only going to be a good thing. But these aren't easy things to do, and the BSP and others today have referenced the Indian experience with Aadhaar, with 1.2 billion people. But there's also been references to data breaches. Equifax has just happened. The CEO resigned yesterday, and so these are real challenges in terms of how this type of technology remains secure, because without security there is no confidence. And that's where, going back to what we do, that's where people have trust in cash. It's not for anything that on the US dollar bill it says in God we trust, and then everyone else pays cash, because people trust cash. It's a very simple medium to move around. And so again, we believe that we will work hand in glove with the fintech community as a part of that community to facilitate, reduce the costs, facilitate transactions and reduce the cost of those transactions, and bring more people into a more stable and wider economic prosperity. So I'm 45 years old. I don't look it. I look about 55 right now, as someone said to me yesterday, and I'm not great at the art of predictions. It's a difficult business to be in, but honestly, I think cash is going to be around for a long time. Innovation is increasing in terms of the pace at which innovation is coming to market, and certainly in markets like in Southeast Asia, like the Philippines, there is a strong and willing appetite to get more and more involved. That's understandable, but realistically, can we still see every barangay, every kampong in Malaysia, every urban conurbation without cash in the next 10 years? I'd say no. Can we see that spinning out to 20 years? It's only 10 years since the iPhone was introduced, and we can see what impact that's had. I personally don't believe that cash will go anytime soon, for reasons like anonymity, identity management, simply because a lot of people want to remain anonymous. And that's not going to change. I think there's going to be a pushback at some stage, but how strong that pushback will be, even in places like Sweden, it's down to 20% or plus, but it's sticking rigidly at that level. And these are countries where the central banks, the governments are very strong advocates of cashlessness. So to come down from 90% to that will take an awful lot of time and a good amount of effort too. So when we attend conferences and exhibitions like this, we're looking for a number of things. It's really important that we hear from thought leaders, and this exhibition conference particularly, we've had a wide variety of both government, non-governmental, industry, fintech leaders talking about their experiences and their aspirations, and that is very important to us to hear what else is happening. A lot has been spoken and written about living in an echo chamber, and you have to expose yourself to other people's opinions and views. And equally, it gives us a great opportunity to be an advocate for optimization and better management of cash, which I think is a voice that doesn't get a lot of exposure, but it's still such a massive percentage of what happens in the real economy. It's the lifeblood of most economies, that we enjoy the interchange. It's well organized so that there are many tracks going on at the same time, and that gives people the opportunity to pick and mix, literally to go from track to track, whether it's today and tomorrow, e-commerce, retail, payments, all these things come together because in the same way that borders and boundaries are blurring in real life today in terms of how we manage our relationships, but we see it also in business that no longer is retail just retail. It is about payments. It's about the omni-channel experience. There are two very passionate ladies talking just recently about omni-channel and how they're managing that across their nascent brand across Southeast Asia, and they made it very clear that it's not just for them about retailing, it's about understanding the payments environment, it's about the technology that goes with that, and so coming to an event like this brings all those three together, and we really enjoy it. Our business objectives are many, in that it's great to listen to other people, but obviously we get a chance to engage with customers, potential partners as well, because this is a community, and so people are often taking some of our solutions, developing them, using them in a different way. We've already had a number of people come through today. What's unique about this particular conference and exhibition really is that you get a blend of banking and retail, and those areas are blurring more and more. And not just in the Philippines where you have large groups that have both the banking and retail licenses. Particularly, we get to see those people, we get to talk to them, we get their feedback, we get to show them new technology. So at this particular event, we're publicly introducing for the first time a lot of retail cash automation technology.